Chat, how are you? How's January treating you? Because it ain't treating me very well. Welcome to the show. It's a short Friday edition of Club CORBIE, and the music is really loud in these headphones. That's a little bit better. Welcome to the show. It's Club CORBIE for the 12th of January, can you believe it? We're powering through the month. You know, I'm glad we're powering through the month because it's been really tough. We did our first stream back on Tuesday. And I really didn't feel like I was doing very well. Like I was rambling a lot through the whole stream, which is kind of good. Because it's kind of like, you can have one extreme or the other. It's like if you get rambling, John, I'll just sit here and talk and talk and talk for hours. And the other extreme, you get like, you know, the days where I come on and I stream and I feel like I just don't have much to say and we just concentrate on the art. And the Tuesday stream was like, I don't know, maybe it's just because it was the first day back, I just felt like I was very nervy. And just not feeling like comfortable, I don't know. But we powered through anyway. We're only doing a short stream today. So we're going to do an hour of art and then, you know, in and out, okay? Because, I don't know, it's just been challenging. I have not felt right since I started trying to get back into things. You know, that kind of post-Christmas, you know, just trying to find momentum again. Anyway, welcome to the show. I'm John Porter. I should introduce myself. I am the creator of the comic book series Kevin Morgan CORBIE, which you can read all about at readcmc.com, which is the website that's behind me. And if you go there, you can click on the comics link and you can find out how to get your hands on digital copies of all the issues of CORBIE that have come out so far. Back in mid-October, we did, I'm clicking on the link and nothing's happening. That's a good start. Back in mid-October, we released the expanded and remastered edition of CORBIE issue 1 for purchase. Man, time is pressing on. Mid-October was a while ago now. And if you go to the website, if you click on the comics link, usually it would work and it would take you to the comics page. I'm going to click on it again. You know, my web hosting comes up in a couple of weeks. It's the same day as my birthday, I think. And I'm like, what am I paying for? I'm clicking on the links and that's that. And what kind of service is this? Considering how much it costs me. It's bad. You're making me look bad, website. Come on. I'll stop it. I'll click it again. Live stream fails right off the bat. Okay, we're just having fun with it, you know? Right. See, normally what happens here is, this is the beginning of the stream and I do my standard spiel, where I go through all the different places where you can purchase CORBIE issue 1. And I read it off the list and try to do it without stumbling over my words. But tonight I can't do that because for some reason the website isn't working. So, can I do it without looking at the text, without being able to look at the page? Normally I would suggest you go to readcmc.com and learn all about CORBIE, but if you go just now, you might find it's not working. So, where are all the places where you can read CORBIE? You can get it from the official CORBIE merch store through Teespring. You can get it from Drive-Thru Comics. You can get it on Global Comics. You can get it on Kobo, and if you're a Kobo subscriber, you can Kobo Plus subscriber, I should say. You can get it for no extra charge. You can get it on your Kindle. You can get it through Google Play. Have I missed any? I think that's all of them. Okay, that's pretty good. That was unassisted, right? I couldn't read the text, so I just had to recall from memory. Those are all the places where you can purchase CORBIE issue 1, and normally, when the website is working, you can click on the comics link, and it would take you to the page. It would also give you links to, on the website itself, you can download copies of issues 2 through 4, the old editions. We're working on issue 2. Making a new edition of issue 2, the remastered version, like we did for issue 1, and we're going through them in sequence, and that's one of the things that we do on Club Kirby, okay? And sometimes we chat and play games as well, if I can find it in myself to do a 3-hour stream, and the will is not there just now, I'm sorry. Well, we can talk about it, okay? What are we doing today? Today we're going to do an hour-long show, so it's coming up for 10 o'clock today, so we'll say we're going to finish at 11, okay? And I think I have it. I think I have enough will in the tank. Power through for an hour, okay? On a Friday night, it's not so bad. It's on the weeknights it feels like it's harder, and I don't know why. On a Friday night it's not so bad. Kinda hyped, okay? Because it's the weekend. On the previous stream, we were working on starting to draw a new model sheet for Corinne. And we were cobbling together all the different elements from the previous model sheets. And I was talking about how it feels like about every 2 years for the last 24 years. Almost like clockwork, it's like you get 2 years in, it's like it's time to update the model sheet. Because Corinne herself as a character predates Kirby. Before she was Kirby, she was just Corinne. So we've been doing this song and dance for like the last 24 years. And we talked about how it's like I have some of the old model sheets, so we're kind of cobbling together aspects of some of the old versions, the old turnarounds. Oh, you know what? The page just loaded. Great load times. It takes like 5 minutes to click on a link and the page loads. Brilliant. Hold on a sec. Not very well organized. I try to always be organized here. There's always things I forget. Okay, so yeah, did I get them all right? Let's go back. Teespring, Ko-fi, Gumroad, Drive-Thru Comics, Global Comics, Kobo, Google Play, Kindle. I mentioned all those, didn't I? There you go. And yeah, you can get the other issues, the old versions of the other issues, for free. They don't cost anything, although they're a bit rough around the edges, that's why we're redoing them. Right, jumping back. So, focus, John, focus. So we have been cobbling together elements of Corinne's old model sheets. And we took bits of like the 2012 one, which was just the version it was in here, which is like a pencil sketch. And it was in the very sort of, what would I say, like a silver or copper age comic sort of style. And we combined elements of that with the 2018, the 2012 and 2018 models. We fused them together, and on the previous stream, we were just drawing just the front view line art. How much have we gotten done since then? Despite my sort of like depressive episode over the last couple of days, something came over me a couple of nights ago, and I was drawing through the night, and I was just like fired up to get some of this done. So I did some of this, the 3/4 view, the side view, and the back view. And so now what we're going to do is we're going to colour all these character models, but we're not going to use the existing palette. Now, if we go down into the corner here, I'll tell you what we're going to do. 3 shades of each colour on here. The ones on the right are the old colour palette that we've been using in the comic now for the last couple of years. The ones on the left are selected from a palette of, I believe it's, I don't have it to hand here, it's 385 colours. A select palette, and the colours in from the available pool they were selected by Comico, the American comic book company, in the 1980s, the 1983. Right, we'll do a little bit of a history lesson here very quickly. So, American comic books started out, you're going back to like the early days of superheroes, they had like 48 colours available to them. That's a very limited palette to work from. Over time, that number started to expand, and eventually they got to like 125, right? But that's still fairly limited. Comico and Eclipse were two of these pioneers in around about the 1980s, who got it up to 100. I believe Eclipse used 125 and Comico used 385. I might be getting my numbers wrong here. So, that was until we got to like computer colouring. That was about that was the limit, right? And even Marvel and DC took a long time to even get to that, right? They were using much more limited palettes. Up until all this didn't start to change until about 1995, and then computer colouring comes in, and now it's like, well, we can use any colours and everything goes. So what does this have to do with us? Well, one of the things I talk about with my sort of art philosophy and my philosophy for comics and what I want to do with Kirby is take it back, right? I want to have a lot more of the sort of the traditional feel to the comic. So what I've done is, we're starting with Krita, we're going to do it for all the characters as we redo their character designs, is go through and select colours from the Comico palette. So we still have 385 colours to pick from. So the ones on the left here are the closest ones in the palette to the existing colours. So you can see they're not quite a match, but they're as close as we're going to get, right? The idea is not to get something that's identical, the idea is working within that limited palette. What can we select? So we're just going to get started. Now, start with the skin tone first. Now on my monitor, on the XP pen display that I used to draw with, this skin tone is very yellow. I'm going to use the digital, and the reason for that is it's going to make it easier for me to fill in the there we go. It'll make it easier for me to fill things in without worrying about the anti-aliasing. Now, as I was saying, on my XP pen monitor, this skin tone colour is very yellow. And if I look over to OBS, it's not quite as yellow. So I don't know if this is going to work or not, but when I was doing the colour picking, it was the nearest colour to Corinne's skin tone. I don't know, will we stay with that? I don't know. I'm really not sure. I reserve the right to change my mind. Hold on, I've got to fix some things here. Now we might run into areas in the images where I've got to change my brush back now. You might run into areas where I have to go in and manually fix up parts of the lineup because they're just not quite right yet. And that's okay. Go back to digital brush. Chat, I apologise for the fact that I have not been on air for the last couple of days. And yeah, the show's not supposed to be like that, right? The show is supposed to be we're on every single night. And it just hasn't been that way the last couple of days. I think because that first stream back, I felt like I was fumbling it. And I don't know, I just wasn't vibing with it. That coupled with, you know, just me, I'm trying to fit everything into my days just now and do everything I need to get done. And I feel like some things are just always getting pushed out. And I have to make decisions about, on any given day, what it is that I'm going to focus on. So some days it's like being on air, you know, streaming makes the cut, and some days it doesn't. And it just really sucks. And part of that is, as well, is you know, we've talked a lot on air about dealing with like seasonal depression and all that kind of stuff. And that has just, this is what I was kind of saying at the start of the stream, that really has hit me since we came back from Christmas. I didn't think it was gonna. I thought because we were past Christmas time, and you know, we're you know, the days aren't going to get any darker now. Gradually they're going to start to get lighter and longer, and I thought that's really going to help because we're past the worst of it now. But it hasn't quite worked out that way for me, at least not yet. I'm just trying right now to, you know, do what I can with the time I have available to me. And so, you know, that's kind of what I was thinking today. It's like eventually I was able to drag myself down into the studio, and you know, I always talk about how, you know, it gets it's so cold and dark in here. Well, it's dark in here, but it's cold in here. And it's not very appealing sometimes to come in here and have to work on, you know, getting organised and all the kind of stuff I have to do before stream to even get us ready to go. And it sucks because I do enjoy streaming while I'm doing it. Like, I'm having a good time just now. But sometimes it's just like getting over that hump, you know. It can be really tough. And like if you're not having a good mental health day, sometimes that can be really challenging. I think I've been really getting kind of overwhelmed with the amount of stuff that I need to do, and you can kind of, that can kind of send you into a sort of a paralysis where it's like you get to the point where you're just sort of like watching the clock. You just see time flying by so rapidly, and it's like it's almost, it becomes almost like I don't know, it's like you get defeated, if you know what I mean, just by seeing how much time is flying by. It's like, well, why bother trying to do anything? I'll never manage now anyway. And that's, I think that's kind of like where my head has been at. And then, like I said, occasionally I'll just have like bursts of inspiration, I guess, or motivation maybe is the better word. Where it's like, okay, now I can, you know, I'm sort of buzzing around the house, I'm getting all these things done, and it's like, it's fine, but it's like 2 in the morning now. Too late to do this stuff now. I don't know about these colours. I might make an executive decision to just change the skin tone and make that like a select color that we can use even though it's not in that fixed economical palette, even if it's not in there. I'm not even using the digital version to avoid that anti-aliasing issue that I was talking about earlier. It's like, it's fine, I'll just fill it in by hand. I am aware also, by the way, that we didn't get to go back and continue the game we were playing, Life After Magic. We might still do that. I don't know. I get concerned because I feel like a game like that, which is very sort of like sedate and is just like text and doesn't, like, I'm not very involved with it, if you know what I mean. I'm just sitting here sort of passively reading it along with you and occasionally making decisions. I worry that games like that aren't actually good for streaming, you know? So maybe we'll go back to that, maybe we won't. What I neglected to mention on the Tuesday stream, the last stream that we did, was that for anyone who remembers the saga of the PS2, the broken PS2, the one that died on air when we were doing a random like PlayStation 2 grab bag stream. We were just playing whatever games I had in my stash, and then during the stream the console died, it just refused to load anymore. Well, as it turns out, in a discussion between two of my brothers, one of them had a PS2 blonde version, like mine but in black, that they assumed was also faulty, and they were like, take it away, it's just scrap now, do with it what you will. And so this was handed to me over Christmas. It's like, John, is this PS2 still faulty? Because the question was posed to me, is it faulty because supposedly like the controllers aren't working? It's like, that doesn't sound like that would be a very strange thing. It's like, oh, well, where the controller perch doesn't work well. It seems much more likely that it's a faulty controller, and of course we plugged in another controller and it was fine. It was a fully functioning slim PS2. So I took it away with me and I said, no, I've got all the cables and everything here, I need to run it. So we should be good to go with that. So as far as I know, that machine will work. It seems to be fully functioning. We should just be able to plug it into my PC setup here with the capture device that I've got here, and hopefully it should work, right? So at some point in the near future, perhaps we'll do another PlayStation 2 stream, and maybe we'll get to play some of those games that we didn't get to play on the previous attempt. I'm still a little bit concerned because I worry that capture device, the latency on it might be off. I remember that time we were playing Simpsons Road Rage just before the console died, and it was like I couldn't steer properly, and it's like I'm not usually this bad at the game. That doesn't track. I feel like my responses are not, you know, appearing on screen fast enough. So yeah, there is the possibility that that could still be an issue. I guess we'll find out. So we're not going to be doing any kind of fancy fill effect, so any kind of fancy shading or anything on the characters, for two reasons. One is because it's just about the model sheet anyway, so there's no point in being fancy. All that's required is that we have all the correct colours in the places that they need to be. And the other thing is that I want to move away from, it kind of goes back to what I was saying earlier. I want the future issues of Kirby to have more of like a retro comic feel. I want everything to feel, I want the comic to feel like, even if you're reading it digitally, it has to have the vibe of like a comic from pre-1995 when everything went airbrushed and became like overly polished, and like a lot of the old ways of comics at that point I think kind of died out. So what we're going to do is, I'm trying to think how I want to handle this. I think the way we might do it is we'll kind of batch adding the colours, and by that I mean we'll go over to the other models and we'll do the hair on the first iteration of Karen, and then we'll go over to the second, the third, and the fourth, and add it on those as well, and then we'll move on to the next part, you know. I don't know if that's actually going to save us time, but it can't hurt to try. Right, I'm just, before we start, I'm just fixing up some of these lines here. A couple of them are just bugging me. Sort of the, I'm sure I've spoken about this before, sort of random detail lines that appear in the hair of certain characters, especially on Karen. They don't have to be like in a fixed position, and the amount of them can kind of vary from panel to panel. They're not required to be consistent, as long as the main outer hair is consistent, then that's fine. Right, what are we doing? Okay, we'll go back to using digital pen, so we can do this a bit more quickly. So chat, I really wanted to get a lot more done this week as far as Kirby stuff goes than I have. And I guess I still have Saturday and Sunday to work with, right? But I want to get going with working on the insert pages for issue 2. If you're keeping track through really November and December of last year, we're redoing all of the old pages from the original version of issue 2. And as I spoke about on the previous stream, over New Year's, I finally crossed the finish line, and those pages are all done now. But we need to bump issue 2 up in page count substantially. I need to come up with 9 all new pages to expand the story. And I've spoken about this before, I have some idea about what I want to do in those pages. I kind of know what's going to happen and what's going to be in them. I need to get it on paper, so I've got to put on my writing hat, which is different from my drawing hat, and I don't get to wear the writing hat very often. Because CORBIE takes a lot longer to draw than it does to write. So I've got to sort of change gears, so to speak. And there's a bunch of other stuff like that I need to get going with. I really want to work on. I guess this is part of what we're doing now, is kind of part of what I want to work on as well, which is developing new processes and sitting down and figuring out on paper how we're going to make future pages of the comic. And I think once we've scripted the new pages, that could be a great way to test all of this out. Test out new processes so that we can complete pages much more quickly. And I think a lot of that is going to involve bringing in more of an analog element again, especially at the planning stage. I think it's going to involve me sort of, going back to pen and paper, and doing a lot of initial planning, that way instead of digitally, and figuring out and blocking things out and figuring out what elements actually need to be on this page. And the thing that I've talked about on stream quite a lot recently is, I think my Achilles heel as an artist, especially as a comics artist, has been that I draw everything as if I was doing a pin-up. Even if it's just like a single panel, single tiny panel, I'll draw it and give it as much attention as I would as if it was a pin-up. And I've spoken before as well about how that ties back to me being deeply insecure as an artist. But I think if we could just do it like a simplified layout for each page on paper first, and then sort of use that as the skeleton for the final version, which we'll do digitally, then I think that would help a lot. I think I need to try out creating the next couple of pages that I draw with a view to, it sounds bad, with a view to speed over quality, right? Or I should say with a view to speed over detail might be more accurate. So we'll see how that goes. Ping, there we go. I've got this area here. Fill that as well. And that extends to the colouring as well. The way that we're doing the colouring in the model sheets just now, the way we're doing this is more like the way that the comics need to be. So moving forward, I mean, I've been talking about this for a while now. Moving forward, I don't want feature issues of the comic to have a lot of fancy special effects and transparencies and like excessive shading and stuff like that, you know? I mean, airbrushed sort of shading. I was just talking about how I want the comic to have like a pre-1995 vibe, and if you go back and look at comics prior to that, it's like shading was all done almost entirely like at the inking level, right? In American comics. Superhero type comics. And I want to do that now deliberately to get that vibe back, but also like as an added benefit, part of that is it's going to mean that I can turn around pages much more quickly. If you've watched any of the previous streams where I was redoing some of the pages from like issue 2 last month, and it was almost like it became overwhelming. Any of the pages, especially that had like the pages that had Morgan on them, or Kirby with the wings, and it's like transparency stuff that we do there. You know, I think we need to lose all of that stuff and not do that anymore in order to turn the art around more quickly. So these are all things that I'm thinking about. How are we doing for time? I always say that in every show. 51 minutes in, that can't be right. We are not 51 minutes in. Okay, granted, it took me like 10 minutes to get started, didn't it? Okay, so really we've got like 20 minutes left. Alright. No, I said we were going to finish at 11. I must have started even later than that. Okay, so we're actually about halfway through. That's fine. I gotta turn this heater off. I have to not freeze whilst not be running that expensive heater all day. Chat, if you want me to be able to heat the studio, go purchase Kirby issue 1 if you haven't already on Gumroad, or dare I say it, through Amazon if you must, or through Drive-Thru Comics or Global Comics or on Kobo. We'll go to the eyebrows too. I guess we can do the eyebrows. So, I suppose we could talk a little bit about Corinne's model shape and how this has turned out. So I'm actually really happy with this particular iteration. And you know, like I said, I've had plenty of practice because every 2 years, but that's almost a quarter. That's a hard word for me to say. Quarter. It shouldn't be hard because it's like Porter. I don't know why that middle R is so hard. Quarter. A quarter of a century. Almost a quarter of a century I have been working on these model sheets of Kevin every 2 years. And so I've had plenty of practice. But I really feel like this one is it really demonstrates sort of the visual. It's like bringing everything together. Like I said, I was wanting to draw upon elements of the previous model sheets, especially the 2012 one and the 2018 design, and you know, really find the sweet spot between those different iterations of the character, and also apply everything that I've learned, because as we were talking about in the previous show, I really feel like 2023, just by virtue of the fact that I've been working so hard on the comic this year, I feel like 2023 has been a year that's been that I've actually you know, really grown as an artist, like technically at least. And I think I've become much more aware of the direction that I want to go in as an artist, and what the kind of art that I want to make and what I want to do, and I'm not I guess I'm not as insecure as I was like when I was younger, you know. I can sort of do art in this style, and as I talked about, I think we spoke a little bit about this in previous shows. It's like I used to have a lot of hang-ups about like having like the anime element in my art, and it was like for a long time we were like repressing it. It's like I'm not an anime artist, and I guess I'm not, right? I don't consider myself that, but I'm okay with having those influences in my art now, because I know I'm not just in that box. I know that I can do other things because I've done it. I have. Eventually you get to a point where once you reach a certain age, a certain level of maturity, I say this now as somebody who's like in middle age, okay? And again, it's like old man John talk, but this is important. Because I didn't expect this to happen to me once I got into my 40s. But you eventually reach a certain point where it's like you're not as insecure anymore, because it's like at this point, this far down the line, you kind of feel like, you know, screw what anybody says, I'm going to do what I'm going to do, and I know why I'm making those decisions, and I'm speaking through trial and error and previous like failures and previous successes as well, I suppose, and just like, you know, your own experience. And it's like beyond a certain point, you don't worry as much about like appeasing people, and you're just like, you know, it's fine to continue to take on board advice from other people, but at a certain point you just feel like, I know what I want, and I know the direction that I want to go in, and I'm just going to go and do it. And that's not from a place of being stubborn or arrogant or anything like that. It's just like I said, it's just like eventually you sort of figure out what you want to do. I'm having a good time on stream tonight, chat. I feel much better now than I was on previous show where I just could not like get into it. But tonight we're just kind of like vibing, you know. I think doing like the longer streams, the 3-hour streams, is fine sometimes, but maybe it's just like it's a little bit too much. And just being able to do like these shorter sessions feels like it's not as big of a commitment, and it's much easier for me to slot into my schedule and do alongside, like I said, other Kirby stuff I've got to do, and other like boring, you know, mundane adult stuff that I have to do as well. And just the normal day-to-day tasks that everybody has to contend with, you know, I've got to manage that stuff too. I think the doing the extended shows is just going to, I think it's going to be, maybe we'll just get to the point where that's just more like a little treat, you know, and if I just do daily shorter shows like this one, maybe then it becomes much more manageable. I think I need to go in and clean up. I'm clicking the link and nothing's happening. Oh no. I'll bet. Let's go back. I need to clean up this this area, I think, a little bit. I don't want to have to keep stopping to fix up the liner, but sometimes there's just these points where it's just not smooth enough. A lot of that happened because well, I would imagine that a lot of that happened because I was really fiddling with the hands a lot. And if you saw the 2018 model that we started from, that we used as a base, and also the 2022 one that this 3/4 view was based off of. At that point I thought Kevin was going to have, I think because we were going down the more cartoony avenue, if you see what I mean? Going in the more cartoony direction, I was giving everybody sort of big oversized hands and feet, and I've kind of scaled them down a bit now, because that's not really the way that I do. Adding this elements into the character designs just seems silly, because I'm not actually going to do other characters like that, you know, instinctively I just don't. So yeah, they're my designs, and these models are really only for my reference. There's no point in putting elements in there that aren't actually going to make it into the comic, right? It's like you're trying to force something that just isn't happening. Okay, let's go back. No, that hand is still... Again, I was just talking about not getting overly focused on any details, but this thumb, I need to just fix up that. There you go, just make that thumb a little bit less bumpy. Okay, who's ever going to see that? It doesn't really matter, but for like my own peace of mind, I needed to make that fix, okay? But anyway. Clearly we're not going to get all the colours applied tonight. I probably should have just picked one of the models and just did all the colours in that, and then we could have completed one. So maybe we're just going to get a little bit of internet across all the models. That's alright. It's still really weird to me, this particular skin tone shade. I don't know what it looks like on your display, whatever you're watching this on. Whether that's on your phone, a tablet, on your TV, on your computer, whatever it may be. But for me, on this particular monitor, I've talked before about the XP pen displays. They're not, the color calibration on them is kind of bad. Here, this just looks like almost like a lemony, a bright lemony yellow. It's not like a Simpsons yellow. I just worry it might be too much. I don't know. I'm of two minds about it. The funny thing is, that's the same shade of skin tone, but on the arms it looks a lot brighter than it does when surrounded by the hair. You wouldn't think that would be the case, but the strange how just framing it makes it look a bit like a bit more natural, I guess. Anyway, right. What am I doing? I just hit the full button. No, escape. Cancel. I don't want to fill the whole canvas. Stop. Pressing the button to stop it. There we go. Right. I'm watching the clock again. Still got like 15 minutes. I've made lots of little changes to Karen's character model. One of them actually we can see here. I was looking back over the old models and just decided to alter the way that I do the side shot like this. Just upturn the nose just a little bit, and I really gave a lot of thought when I was designing these models to just making lots of little incremental improvements over the old one. And the side view and the back view are the ones that get neglected the most because I draw them the least. You know, you have fewer instances throughout the comic where you're going to be drawing those regularly. So I want to go in and make sure I actually gave some thought to, you know, things like how Karen's face is supposed to look from the side, how the hair is, you know, supposed to be framed. All these kinds of things. And again, it's just for my benefit, but I think if I have all this stuff down on paper and I figured it out, it could end up being a real time saver in the long run. You know, and give me, you know, if I have like a definitive document here that I can just bring up at any given time and look at it and go, oh, that's how that's supposed to work. One of the things about working in a comic is, because in any given issue you might have to draw the same characters tens or hundreds of times over. Over time you sort of, you learn what works and what doesn't work. I've got a little bit of side detail here. I've got to erase everything. You learn what works and what doesn't work, and then because I'm like, I was going to say 2 issues, and I guess really we did the old issues 3 and 4 of Kirby. I guess I don't know how you want to count how many issues of Kirby I've done now, because technically I did the first 4, and then went back and redid issue 1, and now I'm redoing issue 2, so it's kind of been like, I guess you could say 5.5 issues of Kirby that I've done now. In a way. But through that now I have a lot of experience of figuring out what works and also what looks good to me as well. And you know, determining solutions and then figuring out which ones I want to run with. And all of that ties back into all of this. I didn't miss any spots, did I? I don't think so. Okay, we've got skin tone applied on the hair for all the different iterations. What we're going to do now is I guess we should go on and just do the vest and the sweater vest. Perhaps we can do that fairly quickly. I don't know what we're going to be doing on the next stream. In fact, I want to be fairly sort of non-committal. I don't know when the next stream is going to be. I'd love to do another show tomorrow. We certainly could. Not out of the realm of possibility, okay? But at the same time, like I said, I'm trying to take things one day at a time just now. And just do what I can. And it may be that that doesn't, that things don't play out that way. And I just have to, you know, sort of let it go for you know, that particular day. Sunday might be, I don't know, maybe to next year after this will be Saturday, maybe it'll be Sunday. I don't know at this point. I feel like these shorter streams, at least I can you know, I can fit them into my schedule a bit better. So I think what we should do is at least work with the expectation the next couple of streams are going to be shorter ones like this, maybe just about an hour, and then eventually maybe we can work back up to doing longer streams again. Especially knowing that we've got a big snowstorm coming this weekend, chat. I hear through the grapevine, I have heard that there's a big snowstorm hitting the UK, I think Sunday night, and they're talking about it's going to be the biggest one since 2010. I could tell you a story about what happened in 2010. And the adventure that I had. I'm pretty sure it was the snowstorm of 2010. It was 2010 and 2011, I think, were both like really bad years for snow. Around these parts. Oh god, I forgot this. Just the non-anti-aliased version. I think I go around that. Yeah, they're talking about it's going to be like the worst snowstorm since like 2010, and I think it hits on like Sunday night, and then it's going to be like Monday is going to be really bad. So whatever happens, we're probably going to have to work our streaming schedule around that, because if it's going to be, we're going to have a huge snowstorm hitting, and it's probably going to be, I imagine it's going to be like cold as hell as well. So if that's how it turns out, I don't know how long we could stay in the studio for it's going to get really cold in here, if that turns out to be the case. I don't like this rough patch at the bottom of the vest here. I'm clicking the button, nothing's happening. There we go. Yeah, there was talk about me. We ended last year with me talking about finally upgrading my decade-old PC, and then that kind of fell by the wayside. And I'll tell you why it fell by the wayside as I started looking at the price of computer components, and I quickly shot down that idea. I don't know, it would be a huge project if I wanted to build a new PC from scratch, and it would still kind of be a project if I were to try and swap out all the components in this PC that are just ancient now, because not everything in this PC is ancient, but a lot of it is. I suppose I could just purchase an entirely, reassembled one, but then that's a whole opening a whole can of worms in itself. I really haven't decided what I want to do with that yet. We're just kind of soldiering on with the equipment I have for now. Oh, again, I forgot to change my brush. I gotta go over this. Get rid of that ghosting effect. some of the pencil, some of the line art, I should say, on this side view of Karen, especially rough around the edges. I'm gonna have to go back in here and clean this up. I guess I might do that after the stream because it's gonna take a while. Actually, that's about 11 o'clock now, isn't it? I said we'd be done at 11, and I really should end it there. But will. I think what we'll do is we will finish colouring in Kevin's sweater vest on all 4 the different iterations of her model, and then wrap it up there. So this has really just been like a side project, or it was supposed to be a side project, me working on these model sheet designs. And just working on Kevin's has taken me a couple of days. And it's like, I need to have the ability to sit down and just stop working on it so I can go focus on other things. I need to learn how to multitask instead of just getting absorbed in doing one thing, you know. I need to get to the point where I am okay with different projects being incomplete. I don't know what it is about me. It's like once I can't just walk away from something. I need it to be, you know, I need everything to be done. What I mean by that is, if I start working on a document like this, like a model sheet, I know that I still have work to do, and I just can't stop. That's what I was talking about earlier, and then I ended up like working through the night, one night this week, on this particular document. I got really into it, you know. You get into it, and it's hard to pull yourself away, especially if you're like having fun. And actually, working on these illustrations is probably the most fun I've had working on any sort of CORBIE related project in a long time. I was really just, I was like rocking and rolling, you know. It's like, let's go. And when you get into that sort of rhythm, it's like you don't actually want to pull yourself away. You just want to keep going. I have so many different things I need to work on just now. I also actually, hold on. So it's the digital print, that's all we wrap things up. I have so many things I need to do just now. Like I said, I need to work on other aspects of issue 2 especially. This was just supposed to be like a fun little side thing for us to work on stream, and I ended up doing most of the line out off stream because I just have not been able to pull myself into the dining room / studio. Former dining room, I suppose it's an ex-dining room now. It hasn't been a dining room in many years. I haven't been able to pull myself in here for a couple of days. Okay, right. If I hit fill, there we go. If I hit fill, I don't think he'll appreciate it very much. Let's fill F-I-L-L. Yes, I've still got some work to go. Obviously, I've got to do the shirt and the skirt on each of these, and the shoes. And the socks are just plain white, so they'll look as they are. Yeah, but that's us getting started anyway, so you can start to get an idea about how things are going to look once I've added in all the other elements. I've got that colour in the eyes, obviously, and the lips. Those areas too. But we're starting to lay down a foundation anyway, so I'll have to make a mental note. I don't know what we're going to be doing on the next stream, but I need to make a mental note. I've got to show you how this turns out, okay? Right, that's going to do it for tonight's show. Thank you for being here with me on this second show of 2024, I suppose. I'm trying to think if there's anything else I need to tell you about. Do check out CORBIE issue 1, if that sounds like something you'd be interested in. Like I said, on the Play Store, the Amazon, and all the other places that I mentioned earlier. And also, if you want to read issue 1 of CORBIE for free, well, not the new good version, but if you want to read the old, not so good version, you can sign up for the Birdy Bulletin, which is the CORBIE newsletter, which I need to write a new edition of at some point this month as well, and get that out to you as well. But if you sign up for the Birdy Bulletin, which you can read all about on readtmc.com/newsletter, you get the original 2018 version of Green Morgan CORBIE issue 1 at no charge. You just pop in your email address, and as soon as you do, you'll get an email back with a link to the original version of issue 1. It's a very special gift to you. And if you're watching on YouTube just now or after the event, then that will be in the description as well, and a link to where you can get the Birdy Bulletin. So, with that said, I'm going to wrap it up there. Thank you for being here with me tonight during this shorter show this evening. A little bit shorter. I will be back. If I'm not back tomorrow, I'll be back in the next couple of days, okay? You guys, bear with me. We're going to make it through the winter time and through seasonal depression, right? We're not going to quit. We're going to keep doing shows. We're going to keep streaming until we get into springtime. The days start to lengthen again. I'll start to feel like I'm more in control of my days, and I'm not always on the verge of unraveling mentally. It's been really tough, but we're pressing on, right? Hey, the way I said it was, and I said this to myself the other day, and it is true, I think. Hold on, I'm talking away from the mic. I should be talking into the mic. The way I looked at it, and this is if you're struggling with seasonal depression as I am as well, okay, just now, but in a lot of places out there just now where it's dark in the winter time. The way I was thinking about it is, 8 weeks ago, we were what, mid-November, and now we're in mid-January. Another 8 weeks from now, just think the same amount of time is going to pass again, and by then it's going to be like the middle of March. And by the time we get into the middle of March, it's like we've won, okay? And then we're going to start to see the first signs of spring on the horizon. And I've got my birthday coming up as well, so I've got that to hang on to as well. So I've got that. I mean, once you're an adult, birthday is not a terribly good thing. Okay, but we're going to try and be positive about it. Yeah. I'm trying to think if there's anything I'm forgetting. No, I think that about covers it. So we're going to power through. Okay. It is late, chat. It is after 11 PM here. I know I haven't done much today. It took me a while to drag myself in here to do this stream, and now I can't turn it off. I am. I'm gonna switch with. I'm gonna switch off now. I'm gonna end the stream. Thank you for being here. I don't know when I'll see you next. Maybe it'll be tomorrow. Maybe it'll be Sunday. Maybe it'll even be Monday if I'm snowed in and there's nowhere else for me to go. What else will I do? We'll see how that goes. But thank you for being here with me, and I will see you in the next edition, whenever it may be, of Club Kirby.